Okay, we ready? Yeah. Need a line of applause. Citizenship and Immigration Services. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the grand opening of the Queens Field Office. My name is Immigrant. My name is Andrea Corantello, and I'm the District Director for the New York District Office of USCIS, and it's my honor to serve as your host today. I am pleased and proud to have so many of our elected officials, USCIS colleagues, friends from the Queens community to celebrate with us the opening of this office. And at this time, I want to take a moment and tell you who's on in front, our distinguished guests. This will serve customers for USCIS from both Queens and Kings County. We will offer a full range of immigration services, from customer service information and fingerprinting to interviews for green cards and citizenship, right through the naturalization oath ceremonies. 100 federal employees and contractors have relocated from our office in Long Island, in Garden City, because we are committed as an agency to bringing our offices to our customers, where they reside, where they live. In the past, our offices were always located in big cities because that's where the immigrants were in the past. It's no longer the case. And so we are catching up to 21st century demographics and moving our office where our customers are. And it's our, the opening of this office is our continuation of our efforts to provide these services to people in convenient places. And of course, Queens is an absolutely natural choice. It is the most diverse county in the nation. And this office is here to serve that diverse immigrant community. We are located precisely in this area because it is easily accessible by public transportation. 2 metro stations, one on either side of the building, and excellent bus service here, not to mention the ability to drive and park across the street or wherever. And I want to take now a moment to acknowledge some special guests that are also here with us, seated in the gallery here, audience. And these are people who are colleagues from our headquarters offices, they're friends who have helped us enormously, and they're people who are here in New York who helped us make this building a possibility. So we have with us today several distinguished elected officials. Right in front of me, I have Councilman Daniel Drum and Councilwoman Ann. We also have Councilwoman Julissa Perez. No wonder I couldn't see you, right through my nose. We have Councilman Van Bremer, I believe is here. No? Okay, he's coming in. Ready. We have countless representatives from congressional offices. So if I could have you just give a wave if you're here from a congressional office. Thank you. And I know we have representatives from state assembly and local council offices, so if you could give a wave. I want to acknowledge the Associate Director for USCIS Customer Service, Rob Hogan, who's with us today. As you all know, customer service is a very important component for us, so Rob's here to lend his support and give us some help. Mariela Malero, who's the Chief of the USCIS Office of Public Engagement and a good friend of this community. It's wonderful how old friends find their way when you need them most, huh? And then I have three people I want to introduce and ask to stand while we recognize them, because these are the people who really did the work in the trenches to help us get this office. So Soraya Correa, who's the Deputy Associate Director for the USCIS. And my two buddies who were with me in the trenches, Jerry Reardon, who's the Chief of the Field Support Center, and Alan Nye, who's Supervisor. Thank you all. I can't tell you how hard they worked to get us to where we are today. It's no small feat trying to move, an office with 100+ people and in need of about 50,000 square feet into a densely populated borough like Queens, but they were tremendous, and they helped us enormously in getting that done. I want to take a moment to thank Susan Walsh, who is here with us from GSA. So Susan, and he's my good friend, Director Mayorkas from USCIS.
I want to thank the men and women of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services who now are in the new Queens office, but who have not always been in such nice accommodations. And despite the physical challenges that they face in the location in which they used to work, through dedication and hard work, they always executed so admirably on the mission of our agency. And I would like to really express my appreciation, and really should be all of our appreciation, for the tremendous work they have done and will carry forward. So thank you. And then I think, as Andre briefly touched upon, I want to say something to the community. I see quite a number of friends from the community. Andre mentioned that we view ourselves as being part of the community, and we have moved into the community to better serve it. And I would like the move into the community that is represented by our opening of the Queens office to be emblematic of a very important statement that we are here for you. We are an agency that serves the immigrant community. Those who are eligible to receive benefits should have a smooth and easy path to realize the dreams that brought them here. I am one who comes from a family that had those dreams and had the privilege of having those dreams realized in the United States. And so we, USCIS, we are a public service agency, and our movement to the community is emblematic of that. And so we want the community to be inspired by the opening of this office, and to know that the path ahead is a very clear and strong one. So thank you all for being here, and we're very excited about it.
Our move to Queens, and most especially to this area in particular that's located in her congressional district. Please welcome our friend and the supporter of the community, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney.
I'm so thrilled to be here, and this is really a great addition to government and our service to our people. I'm so thrilled to be with so many elected officials, our borough president, members of the city council, the assembly, the state senate, all of whom have been working for this day and pushing for this service. And I must say, you could not have selected a better area. we have so much happening in Queens, just 3 blocks away from you at Queens Plaza with the mayor's office, working with the federal government and our borough president and all of our electeds. We've secured $54 million, federal dollars, for our brand new Queens Plaza Park that is magnificent. Bike lanes and seats and greenery and a beautiful area to rest after you go through the immigration process. And the new applied sciences that's coming to Roosevelt Island in Queens, the opportunity, an MIT high-tech education that is going to keep America on the cutting edge of new technologies and new innovations to help people and employ our people and build new companies and opportunities here in Queens, coming from the graduates of that great institution that we have yet to build, but it is coming. And I really want to thank Director for coming here. The director came all the way from Washington. He's in charge of the whole deal, the whole country. And he's here with us, and it would not have happened without his direct involvement and support. And of course, all of us know and appreciate the hard work of District Director Andrea Quarantillo. Who is so responsible, responds to our constituents with such care of fairness and responsiveness, and brings her enthusiasm and can-do attitude to helping people every day and helping to make this become a reality in the lives of our citizens here in America. And I really want to thank the United States government and the USCIS for recognizing the need for a service center right here in Queens. This borough is the most diverse, not in New York City, not in New York State, but in the entire country. It is the most diverse in the whole country. And if you don't believe me, just go out and walk up and down the streets and count the different languages that you're hearing. And on different feast days, you could really close your eyes and imagine that you are in all these different countries. There's such a wonderful, vibrant contribution to our great city in Queens with our immigrant population. And almost half of the Queens residents were born outside of America. That's an amazing fact when you think about it. That is really amazing. And after today, many in Queens, including many who are my constituents, will be able to access immigration services they need in the comfort of their own neighborhood. With multiple lines of subways and bus access, and we're working on more. We're working on high-speed rail between Queens and Boston. We're working on the 2nd Avenue subway that we want to connect into Queens, and the East Side Queens connector, and not to mention all the buses that we already have and other forms of transportation. It will be convenient to residents all across Queens and Kings County, and it will be far more convenient than the current service center in Garden City, Long Island. And I would say that Queens and New York City has served as a primary gateway, if not the primary gateway, into our great nation for many, many years. And long before Ellis Island was ever built, men and women piled off ships into the quays of Manhattan and Queens. They came, as they still come, leaving hardships, but also family, yearning to breathe free and to have the opportunity for the American dream to walk up those ladders of success, to contribute, to be part of our great country. Today, the flight from Istanbul to JFK may be a far cry from the steamer from Cork, which my ancestors came from, but people come for the same reason. They come seeking the same land of opportunity, the same American dream, the opportunity to give, to create, to innovate. And when F. Scott Fitzgerald thinks there are no second acts in American lives, he absolutely was not thinking about the thousands of people who begin their second acts, their American acts, right here in our city every single year. Today, the promise of a land you have the ability to make a new life is only possible because of the work done every day by the unsung heroes and heroines here at the Center for Immigration Services. USCIS is charged with overseeing the immigration process and acting as the nation's first line of defense against those who would seek to contravene our laws. So they have such a challenge to protect America and yet to provide the American opportunity to new immigrants. This is a daunting task when you consider that in 2010, the last year for which information is public, USCIS received over 4,400,000 applications. That's a lot of work to go through and fairly process. This new center demonstrates exactly how immigration services can accomplish all this. By using new innovation and high-tech tools, this office will be able to serve up to 500 customers a day. I commend Director Mayorkas for his leadership in this regard, and I commend all the employees here at the center for their hard work and dedication to the ideals of our nation. And if I can take the liberty of paraphrasing President Madison's words, and he said, I quote, "America is indebted to immigration for her settlement and prosperity." That part of America, which has encouraged them most, has advanced most rapidly in population and the arts and in all other areas. New York City and Queens is certainly a strong, powerful testimony to this truth in his words. I really want to recognize all of my partners in government for all their hard work every day, particularly our borough president, who's so supportive of all these new initiatives. And I want to share with you that as a member of Congress, we review the budgets of all of the agencies, and I always find it very interesting that the State Department, in their budget requests, will always request more staff to process the applications and the visas for people who want to move to or live in America. And with all of our challenges, it's not a bad problem to have that so many people want to come to our great country. But a testimony to all of us before us and all of us serving now that so many people want to come and start their second act right here in our great city and our great nation. All of you are part of this American dream, and today we are opening up that American dream in a more efficient way, a more fair way, a more safe way for the thousands, 400,000, 4 million people at least that are applying to come to our great country. Thank you for all of you that have made this possible, who work every day in the immigration services. We are all deeply, deeply grateful. Congratulations.
To introduce to you Fatima Shama, who is the Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. And I must tell you, a great friend to USCIS, to the New York District, and to me. So it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Now, hopefully new friend, Director Mayorkas, Congresswoman, a consummate advocate for our communities. Thank you. District Director Quarantillo, absolutely a friend. Thank you, you and your team. And friends in the audience. On behalf of Mayor Bloomberg, I'm delighted and honored to be here to be part of such a remarkable opportunity for our city and for our residents. Borough President, you lead the way in this fabulously flavorful borough by demonstrating time and again that Queens does all that it can for its residents, and this is another example of that. So this is really a moment to congratulate our colleagues from the USCIS, both nationally but locally, because it is through their work and their commitment that we are able to see an office like this find its way into the most vibrant parts of our city, where, as the Congresswoman said, nearly half of the residents are immigrants, where we know if it were a city on its own, it would be the 4th largest in the country, and certainly where there are more languages spoken than many, many other parts of this country. So today's opening of this office is a tremendous opportunity for us as New Yorkers. The USCIS office and the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs share a very common goal, and that is in ensuring the opportunities for immigrants in this city to thrive. And certainly from our perspective, it is their opportunity to ensure that they are able to integrate successfully, economically, civically, and socially. And in partnership with the district office, we have been able to help many people. Certainly, it is this office's long-standing relationship with our office that has made a tremendous impact. And And I have to say that District Director Quarantillo's arrival in November of 2006 has been phenomenal. So to you, we thank you. There are lots of things that are going to happen here, and it is going to be profound that people can come here for information, but also for the processing of their documents. Our commitment in this city, as we all know, is to ensure that we are the most immigrant-friendly city in the nation. And I think that having colleagues like you, but really having colleagues like District Director Quarantillo, and under the leadership of Director Mayorkas, is that we are able to ensure that for our immigrants that come to realize their opportunities and their potential, that we as government do all that we can to ensure that wherever they have come from, whatever the turmoil they have witnessed, is absolutely not what they see here. The very presence of an institution like this in our communities demonstrates that time and again. And with colleagues and stakeholders like all of you who help us break down the stereotypes and the myths, it is the opportunity that you can help ensure that our immigrants get access to all that they need, starting with that very realization of becoming a citizen of this amazing nation. So, Director Quarantillo, time and again, I will tell you, we are here to continue to do work together. We are at your service. Thank you.
Wonderful partners. I want to take a moment to say we have gone through federal partners and city partners, and now we're to borough partners. And we have a tremendous partner in Helen Marshall, the Borough President of Queens. And I want to give her a moment to tell you all about how we work together and the kind of hope we have for the future now that we have an office here. So please, Ms. Marshall, our pleasure.
From Guyana by boat. And she came through Ellis Island. And that was just about the only way to get to America. So many of us, our city has been built with people in many instances that have come from other countries seeking the opportunities that this great country of ours offers. And certainly when I became borough president, I served in the state assembly and the city council. But when I came into the office of the borough president, I had to sit down and think about what can I do from the things that I've been doing all along, and what can I made a whole list of things really for myself, but I start reading it off and my staff start calling it the Marshall Plan. I don't know. Only people with gray hair would know what the Marshall Plan was. But I was a kid, but it was very important for us to really reach out to the world and say that America is a place that welcomes anyone. People who want to come and help to build our country. We need them. Now, I decided to do what I call the Queen's General Assembly. Why? The United Nations began in Queens. Did you know that? How many people did not know that? Okay, so everybody knows. Ralph Lunch, our ambassador, was there. He lived in Forest Hills. He was able to get back and forth to work. And it is where, but the reason that they called it the Queen's General, I call it the Queen's General Assembly because when it was in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, it was called the Queen's United Nations General Assembly. And actually we were able to set up Israel. That's where it was voted on. It was great. Now, immigration had to be the top of my list. And so what I've done, and it's working very well, and I brought with me a young lady who's pint-sized, but man, is she dynamite. And Susie, please stand up, Susie. I watched her, because she's from my community, I watched her close down Junction Boulevard, and no cars, it's a very busy street, and she had people from all nations with their dances, their foods, their music, and everything. And Danny and some of the other people here know about that because we've known Susie so long. Now, I better get to my script. But I will say that over the years, we have sworn in citizens in all different kinds of locations. And I admit that some of them were really unique. And yes. The Queens Mall, and that's where I have sworn in children. And one was about this big, you know, and she was getting her papers, and then I went to shake it down and that's really the joy of my life that happened. But what we have established is the Queens General Assembly. We've taken people from each and every community board and placed them there, and they get and Susie has a great talent of bringing people together and helping them to establish dialogue with one another. And we picked them from the community. People who wanted to be on it, we certainly welcome them on it. And I sit into those sessions from time to time. And if you could hear what the people say to one another when they really realize it's great to be in America, and it's great and important to find out the people who live here and to live with them in peace and harmony. And so what happens is that we're now on our third group. What Susie does, and she has a team of people, sociologists, psychologists, social workers. She has them that she can call in to work with her, and it's really a wonderful program. And as I sit there, sometimes, you know, the stories that I see happening there can bring tears to my eyes. It was one lady who, she was a little snappy. She was angry with her councilman, and I'm not going to say which district, because that councilman is not here anymore, because he took her off the community board without even telling her, because she worked with his opponent when he was running. You know that. At any rate, what happens is that Susie allowed her to sit in on the session, and she did. And eventually, she really wanted to become a member of the Queens General Assembly. And I believe that she was from Korea, and so we were thinking about it. I hope she's not going to be angry throughout these sessions, because we need her, make her happy. Well, we certainly did. Every group, when it leaves, they put on their own kind of program. And the first one that they did, they decided that they really wanted to they've been talking about the differences, learning about them. But what about the things that we all do like this? And they chose light. They chose light. And the first dancers, the first people to come out she's a big health professional. I think she hated it. Well, at any rate, she's a health professional, but she teaches Indian dancing. And mind you, her student is Japanese. And they have two little glasses with candles lit in them. They did the whole dance beautifully without dropping anything, okay? And kept on going and going. At the end of it, what happened is we first celebrated our Jewish community, and that was for Hanukkah, and that was great. And then we kept on going and kept on going, and the last one was for Kwanzaa. And Andrew Jackson was the head of the Langston Hughes Library. He had those tall candles in a glass, and he had that's another one of my daughters, right? She's a big help. Eeyore Rodriguez, she works with her. We have Gary Ackerman, and she has a direct line to the Department of Immigration, and I'm proud. Okay, and so he was having trouble. Mr. Jackson was having trouble lighting the wick down into the glass. So the Jewish brother gets up, comes over, and gets the Shabbos, which is the candle that is lit up for eight nights. And you know, there's so much to that. There is so much to that. Because for both of these people, these were sacred things to happen. But over the years, the Queens General Assembly has done so many wonderful things. And the lady who I told you was so angry because with the councilman at the time, she came in fully dressed, a beautiful organza saree. I mean, she was really gorgeous. And she opened up the session by singing Star Spangled Banner. Right? And at the end, it was around Christmas time, she stood up and had everybody standing with her, and they sang Silent Night. And so these are the kinds of wonderful experiences to have people from all different countries and different cultures coming together. You know, a person who travels is considered as a very, very wise person. I commend the leadership of the USCIS for rezoning, for recognizing the importance of opening field offices. And such a field office, we love it. And we have to have the best one, because we have the largest amount of people from all nations. And for ensuring that one of the first offices will be located here in Queens. I want you. One of the things I'll tell you, we have a secret weapon. Congressman Carol Maloney. Mind you, she represents Manhattan too, but she also represents a good part of Queens. And I know her because we served in the city council together many years ago. She has been dynamite. I'm constantly called down here for things that she has done for people and communities. And so I'm so glad that she's our partner here. She's outstanding. Okay. Immigrant rights and protections have been a priority of mine as a public official for the past 30 years. I am the daughter of immigrants, and I can say with certainty that the vast majority of our immigrants are hard-working people who want to provide a better future for their families. Their priorities are the same as ours. They want a safe home, secure job, good education for their children, and opportunities to succeed in America, the greatest nation in the world. I have to be and yet it can be a lengthy, intimidating process, and I know it because I've gone through it with people who have children that, they separate children from, one child could come to America and another one can't. And the mother was totally distressed because they would only let her bring in one of her children. And Dior Rodriguez was sitting down who just came from the works of Gary Ackerman. Gary Ackerman told us this story. I'll make it quick. The woman came into the office and she wanted to get her other child, and they wouldn't let her. Queens Center Mall has been very helpful to us and allowed us to do swearing-ins there too. And it's wonderful to do that, and everybody is smiling. Okay? And those children know how to salute the flag, and they know everything. And we're very, very proud of them, and certainly our seniors. But one of the things that we capitalize on is our multi-ethnic club. You can get food. I have 1 minute left. I get really excited about this because this is something that's so special. Our children today are going to school with children from all over the world. And that is just wonderful. The children get to know one another. They even exchange languages sometimes. And I had a proposal, which hasn't been adopted yet, but to put a buddy system in our public schools. You take a child who speaks English well, and a child who needs to learn English. And they will teach one another their languages. It's very important to be bilingual. Yes, it is. My staff and I have always enjoyed participating in the USCIS citizenship events. Now we look forward to forging a strong and productive working relationship with you at this office. And I'll tell you, I am so proud to have such a nice place. Because what we have to find places to serve people. And they don't care, but they just want that paper. But certainly, when you walk in here, and I'm impressed, and thank you for doing this. You might need another one. Thank you, everyone.
Councilman Bremer, if he'll come up and say a few words, because I think we're in your district, are we not? You are?
We are all ourselves either children or grandchildren of immigrants, and my Irish grandmother came from County Wexford, and the Van Bramers came about 350 years ago, so the immigration process was a little bit different in 1639, but so, you know. I just want to say thank you. I see someone from the Queen's Library here, and I want to say that we held a swearing-in ceremony at the Flushing Library several years ago. I worked for the Queen's Library before I got elected, And it was one of the best things we ever did. It was one of the most powerful moments that I ever witnessed as a staff person at the Queens Library, and I'll never forget it. And we are just so grateful to have you here, and so grateful for the immigrants who continue to come to Queens and to New York City and to make our country an even better place. So thank you very much.
My congratulations to the wonderful professionals who are here today. And my apologies, I came in a little late, and I'm sure that most of my colleagues have spoken, and our wonderful Congresswoman Carol Maloney, who helped make this happen, and our borough president, my colleagues in government, including Assemblywoman Grace Meng, who's here, and who represents a district with so many immigrants, but really we all do in Queens, and we're very proud of that, and very excited. I want to thank Jimmy because it's a great partnership that we have, and we want you to be welcome here. We want you to have lunch in the district. We want you to feel happy here. If you're unhappy about anything, we're the local officials. We want you to call us because it's a great honor to have you here and a great resource for our community. So I want to thank each and every one of you for the professionalism, the dedication, really the consummate dedication that you have to our country and our newest citizens. So thank you very much.
Any idea how big? In every office, there is some customers and the clients, works with our stakeholders. We were extremely fortunate to have someone like that working with us. And now that we have formally opened our new office, I think the first official act in our Queens office should be to remember our revered member of our USCIS family, who was taken from us last year, Gwen McPherson Williams. Many of us here today knew Gwen, and for you, she needs no introduction. For those of you who don't know Gwen's work and who she was, it's my privilege to tell you a little bit about her. Gwen began her career with the Immigration and Naturalization Service as a GS3 clerk stenographer. And if you don't know what a GS3 is, it means they get about $1.50 a year. Through 38 years of public service, she worked her way up the ranks to become the most senior field office director in the New York district. However, that's not the real story of who Gwen was and the reason she merits this honor today. Gwen McPherson Williams was a superstar among immigration managers. She was a talented mentor who impacted countless lives and careers. She was a skilled and thoughtful manager and a first-class problem solver. She was a savior to many immigrants. She really was. People who needed her skill and compassion got it tenfold. She was a godsend to their attorneys and representatives. She helped them sort out countless, complex, difficult issues. And I am sure many of you here today would acknowledge that. She knew everything about immigration, the law, the policy, all the technical aspects of our work. But more than that, she understood the immigrants themselves, what they wanted, what they needed, and she did everything she could every day to help them. She truly was their champion, and she was a quintessential public servant. Gwen McPherson Williams was also a wonderful partner to all who worked with her, a terrific friend, and a funny, warm-hearted human being. Our friend Gwen had it all, and yet she was as modest and humble a person as some will ever meet. She was the perfect blend of talent and heart. Her nickname said it all. She was called Sunshine, and she surely was and is our guiding light, our sunshine. Her commitment to public service is a legacy that deserves to live on. I would like to ask her husband, Greg Williams Sr., and her son, Greg Williams Jr., to join myself and Director Mayorkas for a presentation in her honor over here. One and nothing. We have this tribute to Gwen that we'd like to show you all. It is a product of two gentlemen who are standing here with us, Stephen Wittrick and Carlos Olivo. It's a labor of love. It's a gift from the heart to Gwen's family and friends and everyone who worked with her and loved her dearly. If you would, gentlemen. Gwen's room. All who come here to work together to promote a better world, a world where diversity is valued. We'll do so in Gwen's name. We loved her. We missed her. To make. So I leave you to do that. For those of you who can't see, this is Gwen's badge that's been set in lucite as a memento for her family. Would you let me say a word?
To the Director, Mayorkas, District Director, Quarantillo, distinguished guests, staff employees, USCIS associates, friends, and family. The McPherson Williams family is pleased to receive this honor of a memoriam in the name of my late wife, Gwen Kathleen McPherson Williams. Gwen loved her work, her co-workers, associates, most of all, she loved serving the immigrant community in the process of American citizenship. My hope is that others who serve the agency will continue in the style of her legacy with enthusiasm, understanding, and patience. Thank you all for your support, compassion, and this honor. Thank you all.
I know many of you would like to see the memorial. We'll have it out there for the rest of the day. I can't do this. Okay, never mind. Okay, now, I can get myself together and find out where I am here. I think the right thing to do at this moment, that we're honoring public service and a wonderful public servant, I think it's time for us to acknowledge those who will run this office and who have done such hard work to stand it up already. So if I can, Dennis Bunce, our field office director. Agatha Stewart, who is our section manager here. Our supervisors, please. Wherever you are, come on up. Here's Dave and Lynn. Okay. Come on, Dave. I see you back there. You can't hide. And the rest of the staff, please come forward. We want to say hello and thank you. I wanted you to see their faces to understand that these are the people who are going to end this ceremony, then, with the people who will work in this office and who've done so much to make it what it is today. I want to thank everyone here for participating in the grand opening of this office. I am overwhelmed by the support I see out in front of me. I mean, all our elected officials, my colleagues from headquarters and region, and our friends from New York. I mean, I see so many faces, it's amazing. And even the media, what a wonderful turnout. We can't thank you enough. I know that many of you are anxious to see the office as it is. We have staff, some of the people, very people who are in front of you, who will lead tours around the building. You can meet them in the reception area. In this room, in about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, we will do a mock citizenship interview. We do this in many of our programs around the city where people teach English language and civics in preparation for the citizenship test, and they're always a little leery about the interview. And so what we've done, under Director Mayorkas's regime and his guidance, is we have put together a mock interview so that we can tell people what to expect and to make sure they understand that if someone's speaking too quickly, you can ask them to slow down. If you don't understand them, you can ask them to speak more slowly or more clearly, and those kind of things. So we'll have that view. Across the hall, I sound like a tour guide now, but across the hall, I am going to be a tour guide, I am. Across the hall is our Application Support Center where we capture biometrics, your fingerprints, your picture, your signature, and they'll be doing some demonstrations. We will not be formally printing or running your prints against the FBI background checks, but you can see how the operation works. And we have a whole lobby full of information about citizenship, about customer service, and about the Queen's office that we invite you to take part of. Our staff will be all over the place. We have lots of staff here from New York and from Queens, and from our Holtsville, Long Island office. So we invite you to partake of either a tour, the mock interview, go see our ASC, do all three, and then have lunch where Councilman Van Bremer's hold you to. But not all of you. I don't think it'll hold all of you. But at any rate, I can't thank you enough. This has just been wonderful, and I think I speak for all the staff here. We feel so welcome here in Queens, and it's because of all of you. Thank you. Please remain standing.